Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
All right, everybody, welcome to another great edition of Freed on Business. We've got a tremendous show for you today. We've got Patrick O'Connell from EWM. Patrick is going to talk to us about the housing market, what's going on in the housing market, especially luxury and super luxury. And then we're also going to have on Dennis Scholl. Dennis is going to talk to us about the new Oolite museum that's going to be opening up here in Miami. So it's art and real estate, art and luxury real estate. That's Miami. And Mr. Mendoza will take it away and bring us back. And that's going to be the topic. So stick with us. It's going to be awesome. Mr. Mendoza. Well, Mr. Mendoza did that just for me because he knows that the only bobblehead in my office is the one I have of Don Scholl. I'm looking for it right now. You should have teed me up on that. But Mr. Mendoza, I guess you just wanted my righteous take on it. Righteous, those are the folks at Warren Henry. We want to thank Warren Henry. They've been a sponsor on the show since 2013. For that, I want to thank Samantha Wolf, of course, Larry Zinn, Abe Cohn, and my good friend Eric Day, and, of course, Warren Zinn himself. And if you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. That's it right down there. Warren Henry, that's right. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, Jaguar, up at Biscayne and 151st in Gainesville, they sell Audi. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. What do all those great cars have in common? They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. It's a long list of services that you get. It includes complimentary loaner. If you scrape up your rims against the curb, they'll polish that up. Lose your $100 worth of keys, they'll fix that too. They'll get you a new set. Hey, they'll guarantee you get a great price on your used car, and you get a great price on your new car. And if you don't like your car, they'll give you 3 days to return it. Guess what? Nobody returns their car because they all love their cars. Join my beautiful wife, Vivian, my mom, lots and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always. You got it. Warren Henry.
It's time to stop the hate and spread some love. You are beautiful, you're smart, you are awesome, and you never have to change for anybody. You have the voice and you have the power. We are so much stronger when we come together. It's your choice, so choose to be inspired. Choose to be accepting, be strong, be brave, be awesome, be daring, be kind. Choose kindness.
Hi, I'm Jim Freed. I help a lot of families and real estate operating companies and investors from all across the world execute their business plan. Why? Oh, you can read it right there. That's why. Because I bring positive energy to transaction and also incredible local contacts. In fact, I do business, like I said, with some of the biggest developers, best developers, institutions all over the country. If you're looking to capitalize your real estate transaction, you want to sell some land, you want to create a joint venture, you want some creative capital solutions and new ideas, call me. I lead the way. And remember, whenever you reach out to me, it's always, you got it, all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
You know, I have this saying that to be successful, you have to surround yourself with people that believe in you. I also have another thing that I'd like to talk about, which is value system alignment. Today, we're joined by a guest who I have both of those beautiful things in common with. Bring them up, Mr. Mendoza. We've got Patrick O'Connell of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, EWM Realty. He is my connection there, and Ron Sheffield. But Ron hands me off to Pat, and Pat and I do business together. Welcome to the show, Patrick O'Connell.
Thank you, Jim. No, it's really great to be here with you today, and I'm looking forward to kind of diving into stuff, talking about the real estate market. And I have to say, though, I'm also really interested to hear from Dennis Scholl later on, because I'm certainly in tune with the arts community here. I love what they do over at Oolite, and I think it's such a valuable part of our community, and I can't wait to hear what he's got cooking too. So
look at how I scored with just that random allocation there. So listen, Patrick, let's get started by state the credentials. Tell us a little bit about the firm, because being with that firm and who they are really sets the tone for what you have to bring to the table today.
Oh, well, sure, Jim. So Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, EWM Realty, started in Coral Gables, as a matter of fact, in 1964 as Esslinger Wooten Maxwell Realty. So we've kind of come a long way in the last, 58 some odd years that we've been in business here. But we've joined in a very long run of luxury, of focusing on the luxury market here, being a leader in the luxury market in real estate. And, some of the stats, we have offices, 11 offices from Miami up to Palm Beach. We're about 725 realtors across those offices. And we're certainly a longtime player in the residential and sometimes the commercial market here too. So we like to think that we kind of have our finger on the pulse of the market. We look at the stats all the time. I mean, I've got some numbers that I'll throw out at you, a little bit later in the program today, but safe to say, South Florida is just a very exciting place to be in the real estate business. I'm sure you can attest to that. There's so much going on. There's so much of a focus here. And now that we have a significantly higher percentage of the world's wealth looking at Miami particularly and focused on South Florida, we are seeing the signs of that literally everywhere in our real estate market.
Well, let's just get right into it, because that's a real soft way to say that prices are going insane, rents are going insane. There's all kinds of pressure on the marketplace because residential is delivered in a lumpy way, and when there's the supply chain shock of not enough units for the demand in the market, it's now being reflected in pricing across the board. Pat, what's going on, and is this sustainable?
Well, that's a big question, Jim. So, what's nice is that we're just at the beginning of Q2 2022, right? So we can look Q1 2021 versus Q1 2022 to kind of get a general state of the market, right? Kind of where we sit today. So, to kind of look at the overall residential market here in Miami-Dade County, that's all the condos, all the single family homes, all of that combined, right? And all this data comes out of our multiple listing service, right? So there are a few sales that may not be included in this. Some of the condos, the new condos particularly, that get sold that maybe don't get added into these numbers. But I can tell you that these are the numbers that everybody uses, and they're pretty good at indicating where we are in the overall marketplace right now. So I think the probably the big headline is that in Q1 2022, our overall residential inventory is down 50% to where we were in Q1 2021. And you can attribute this to many things. Certainly, COVID has played a big role. I like to say that, COVID has allowed a lot of people in this country to work from anywhere. And a lot of people now are making Miami their anywhere. With so many remote jobs now available, people are moving here and finding a place to live just so they can enjoy all the things that we offer, the amazing weather and just the beauty of living in South Florida, right? So, but unfortunately, as they arrive, they're finding half as many properties for sale this year as they did last year, right?
Why is that?
Well, so in addition to just many more people wanting to be here, it's just an interesting confluence of things, right? The condominium development here has not been as vigorous over the last couple of years, so we don't have as many of those new buildings that are sort of in the pipeline now. We have some that are in the pipeline to deliver, not as many as we need, certainly. We have some new ones coming out, but those are still a good 3-4 years away. So the immediate need for housing here is under a lot of pressure, right? Because there are just many, many more people that want to be here. And there are so many reasons for that. I mean, a lot of it obviously has to do with our lack of state income tax, our overall business-friendly legislation and attitude in the state of Florida. And frankly, people are just, I don't know, they're tired of the Northeast, perhaps California. That's where we're seeing a lot of our buyers coming from today. And they're bringing their companies with them, which is great for us. Yes.
Now, Pat, I've run into the entrepreneurs. One of the guys in my building, he has a PR firm in New York. He shuttles back and forth to New York. So I understand that. I see that completely. But this creates an incredible amount of pressure and dislocation because the people that earn their money other places are competing with people that earn their money here. And let's face it, Miami, for generations, has paid its employees in sunshine.
Well, and that's an interesting statement. It's true. I mean, I like to think that right now in Miami, we are finally catching up. I mean, that's really what we're doing. It's happening so quickly. So the prices that people are willing to pay in New York and the big cities in California and all of those really hot happening markets, we are now one of them. And we are now every bit as expensive, I would say, or priced similarly to those markets, and not just in our for sale properties, but our rents have increased
40%. I know because I'm personally subjected to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just making for a very interesting situation right now with folks wanting to move here. Part of my job does have to do with the relocation business. So I do hear from folks that are moving here or moving their companies here or both. And many of them today are choosing to come and rent. But even that is not easy because the rental prices have increased so much that they're finding maybe they have to live a little bit further away from where their job is, a little bit further than they may like. The commutes, I don't know if being out on the roads lately, we're finally beginning to see the impact of all these new residents on our South Florida roadways. And I don't see that necessarily changing anytime soon. But I do think that in the long run, we are just finally getting on par with the other big markets, the major markets around this country that serve major industry, a sophisticated, wealthy residential population like what is growing today here in Miami.
Pat, I'd like to take a quick break and then I want to come back because I have an example of a city that this has gone through. So I want to project what the arc might be to you and get your comments. And then I want to also talk about the way that the buyer pool has changed over the last couple of years from what it's been recently, but how that really truly reflects the original historic path of the people coming to Miami. Patrick O'Connell and I will be right back after this talking about what you want to know about, and I'll bet you that's the Miami residential real estate market. Mr. Mendoza, rock the house. Yeah, I remember that night. I was there. We all were there, weren't we? And our common experience, which the internet brings us and TV brings us. Hey, my common experience that I'd like to share with you is being a member of the Warren Henry family. I was up at Supercar Saturday this week talking to Larry. I want to thank Larry. Larry's in for helping us get our brand new QX60. It's so fresh off the boat that they don't even have it at the insurance companies yet. They don't know what box to check. They have to call the home office to get the quote. And that's what they do for me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, all my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too, but that's not time in the commercial to say that yet. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar, that's what they sell up at 151st and Biscayne. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. I have good friends that buy their cars up in Gainesville from my friends in Gainesville. A lot of them shop at that store. And down in the Keys, well, they sell all the nameplates down there. You want a Jeep? Go down there and get it. They'll make sure you get a great price on that too. What do they got? Well, they were all great cars. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage, a long list of services that you get when you go there. It includes, of course, the complimentary service loaner. You get to work with my friend Maytal Stark. She's the best. And key replacement if you lose your keys. They polish up your rims if you scratch your rims. Really key thing is they make sure you get a great price. They guarantee the price that you get. They guarantee you the price that you pay. And they'll give you 3 days to return your car if you don't like it. Nobody returns their car because they all love it. So join my beautiful wife, Vivian, my mom, lots and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. And we are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
You know, I always talk about how I know all these family offices and stuff like that. I also know a lot of small investment funds that do really unique things. So people call me for nuanced solutions when they want a creative capital stack. If you're a family and you want to invest, if you're a family and you want to capitalize, if you're a family and you want to join other people, or if you're a real estate operating company, I deal with a lot of them too. Join me, call me. That's right. Why? Because whenever you reach out to me, you get a creative solution, and it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
We're back with my good friend Pat O'Connell from Berkshire Hathaway, and we're talking about the luxury residential market here in South Florida. Berkshire Hathaway covers the entire South Florida market, and Patrick is an expert on that. Patrick and I work on a number of projects together. Mr. Mendoza, where's Patrick? Well, there he is. It's magic. It's magic. You know, I'm watching that Laker thing on HBO. That's tremendous, talking about magic, by the way. That's tremendous. I love that. It's really interesting. They're just getting to the part where Pat Riley takes over the team. I can't wait. So, Patrick, let's go back. I teased this segment a little bit. I have a client that I do business with that got filthy rich owning residential in Toronto. He bought right before the prices rose for 30% in a year. And then they saw a sustained increase of 10% per year, year over year for about a decade. Patrick, I think that's heading our way. What do you think?
Well, you know, it on the brokerage side, right? All we can do is kind of look at the stats, and hopefully obviously it's going to tell us what's happened, and hopefully from that we can begin to look at maybe what the future will hold for us, right? So, you know what? I mentioned before the break that our overall inventory in Miami-Dade County of single-family homes and condos is down 50% from Q1 2021 to 22, right? So we're that much lower in our inventory today. But talking more luxury, right? But go ahead.
That's it, because that was an overall thing. Talk luxury. You told me the statistic about Coral Gables that blows my mind.
Well, let's slice and dice a little bit more the market, right? And so what I think is interesting, and what is another sort of headline right now, is the way that our single family home and condo markets are starting to head in different directions. When you're talking
Really?
about luxury, yes. And I'll throw out some stats and we can kind of talk about it. But so let's say just general luxury is $1 million plus, right? That's kind of the threshold.
That's like middle class today.
I know, but for the sake of our discussion, so I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to look at the 10 million and up, right? Which is huge in this county now, unlike ever before. But talking about $1 million inventory, right? Single family homes and condos. Both of those inventories are certainly down, right? Year over year, quarter over quarter. Single family homes, the inventory in that $1 million plus range actually is only down 13%. Rather than the 50% of everything else, which is interesting. The condo inventory, though, this luxury condo inventory that we've had a lot of, right? There's been a lot of it built up and down the beach on Brickell, and we've had a healthy supply of that now for several years. That inventory is down 36%, which, okay, fine. That's a pretty significant number. Where things start to go in different directions is where you look at the number of properties sold, right? So if you're looking at single family homes, okay, the inventory is down 13%. The number of sold units is also down right now, which is interesting. Quarter to quarter, 2022, looking at last year, those single family homes over $1 million, the sales are down 7%. When you look at the condos, though, these $1 million and up condos, there are 39% more sales that happened in 2022 Q1 than happened in 2021. 39% more. So we are selling a significantly higher number now of condos in that $1 million and up price range than we are single family homes. And I think a lot of this just has to do with the lack of inventory. We just don't have the homes to sell. And I think what's happening is that people are coming here looking for houses, realizing there's so little to buy, that they are then going to the condo market because there are a few more things to buy. And I think we're seeing a bit of that migration from single family home living to condo living just out of necessity, just because we just don't have the inventory of homes. So to step that up then, right, going to the 10 million and up market, which frankly, a couple of years ago, that didn't really exist here, right? But within a short amount of time, we've really started to compete with a lot of other large global cities in their pricing and certainly in the ultra luxury space. So once again, though, when you look at that inventory here, this year to date, that inventory of 10 million and up single family homes is up 38%. So we're adding more to that inventory. I think more homes are that maybe were 8 or 9 million last year are now over that $10 million price range. So they're now showing up in this category. But in the condo space, again, the $10 million and up condo sales here, the inventory is down 25%.
I just think that people don't have anywhere to go. And they're not going to sell.
That's probably right. But then once again, if you go to the sold units, the 10 million and up sold units, which we're still selling a lot of, right? But those numbers this year, $10 million and up single family homes, those sales are down 33% from where we were in 2021. So that ultra luxury market in the single family home space seems to be cooling off a little bit right now. This changes, it can change pretty rapidly, but the new sales are down 30%. Sales of condominiums over $10 million compared to last year are up 23%. We're selling more of them now, more of the ultra luxury condos than single family homes. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the amount of stuff for sale, right?
Well, it might also have to do with the people who are moving from out of town. They may have a different demographic than a family. This is what I want to talk about a little bit. I'm going to open the door on this one now. For many, many years, everybody came from the Northeast, and then they were stopped from that by the focus changing to Latin America and Europe. When COVID slammed the door on Latin America and Europe, I think that opened the door for the people that have wanted to come here from New York, New Jersey, Philly, Boston, and Chicago and San Francisco, and they just weren't able to before. And now they're here. They're here in droves. I meet them every day. I do business with them. I listen to the discussions of the 25-year-old people in New York that are pricing our condos and our rental property. It's illuminating.
Well, it is. And what's interesting is that today, yes, our most of the buyers for this inventory, certainly they're coming from elsewhere, and definitely the Northeast still, and California. Some of this is fueled by the cryptocurrency sort of renaissance that we're going through right now. Miami is, and I know that you've mentioned this on your program previously, we are sort of the epicenter for this in the US right now. And it's a major topic here, and it's attracting more of the crypto and blockchain companies that are coming here, and they're bringing their employees with them.
Yeah, I was looking at a property, a rental deal that I wanted to develop over on Cayocho, close into downtown. Guy rode up on his bike coming in from downtown. I stopped him. I said, "What do you do?" He said he worked for a wealth management firm. He just moved here from San Francisco. Doesn't have a car. Lives in a nice 2-bedroom, spitting distance to downtown.
Of course.
And on the crypto side, I wanted to talk to you about this for just a second, because there's a misnomer. People say that people are closing these houses with cryptocurrency, but that's not true. Tell me what the process is that they're doing, because people say, well, $5 billion worth of inventory traded on crypto. 0 traded with crypto. Tell me more.
Well, and that's a good point. And there is definitely a level of hype happening right now around folks that have made a lot of money off of crypto and the fact that they're buying real estate with it. But like you said, they're not actually trading their Bitcoin for real estate in a direct, buyer to seller transaction, wallet to wallet, right?
Thank you. Yes.
I send you $1 million Bitcoin, you give me the deed to your house. That's not happening. These are fairly conventional real estate closings where those owners of the cryptocurrency are converting their crypto to US dollars and ultimately closing in US dollars, right? The source of those funds is definitely their cryptocurrency. And if they invested in Bitcoin or Ethereum 10 years ago, they're doing very well. Yes.
How do you know your customer on that? Or is it just all cash and it doesn't matter?
Well, in the end, the funds have to be sourced, right? Wherever that money is coming from, the closing agent's got to be able to point to the source of those funds. So
just wanted to make sure.
And you can do that with crypto. You can say, this was converted from this particular type of
I bought the
currency.
crypto here, and then I converted it here. You just show that. Oh, I'm going to use the term.
Now,
you show the
beyond that, and where that Bitcoin ultimately came from is another question. But in the end, I think that the messaging out there is yes. Many buyers now, I think the number nationally is like 13% are using some form of crypto to purchase real estate, but they're simply converting their crypto to dollars and then closing in US dollars. And at the closing table, US dollars are dispersed to the seller and used to pay all the fees and taxes and so forth.
I think this is a good point to take a break. We've still got another segment with Pat. I want to talk about the business that people are making, taking advantage of, what do I want to say? The supply and demand inefficiencies. Those are the flippers and the spec bot builders and stuff like that. And I want to get some more good numbers from you, Pat. So over the next couple of minutes, while we're telling people about Warren Henry, you know what you got to dig in on now. And we'll be back with my good friend, Patrick O'Connell, the man who knows the entire marketplace because he sees it from the vantage point of having 750 people that work with him every day. And we have Mr. Mendoza, who I'm sure is going to blow my mind with the next transition. So let's go, Mr. Mendoza. Oh, you know how to make me feel great. And this goes out to my friend Louie, who was in New York and drank champagne with all those guys that night. High five to Louie. High five to Josh Beckett. High five to all of us. And high five to my friends at Warren Henry. How'd you like that transition? That was pretty good, I think. Oh, and that's the first championship right there. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. I was just up there with their Supercar Saturday. I want to thank Floyd and all the rest of the folks at Warren Henry that make me feel so at home. Their whole team goes up there for that, and you really do feel special. You do feel like the Warren Henry family. I brought a couple of my clients with me this week. They made us all feel tremendous. My client wanted to buy the French Racing Blue Lamborghini. I said, let's close the deal and then we'll buy one together. Hey, but what do, they've got, you want to buy a car from them? They've got Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at 151st and Biscayne. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. The Keys, they've got all their great nameplates, including Jeep. What do all those cars have in common? Well, they're all great cars. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get complimentary loaner service. You get polish up your wheels if you scratch them up, your rims. If you lose your fancy keys, they'll replace them. Those are like $100 a pop. Guarantee the price, guarantee your best price on your car that you're trading in. When you get 3 days to make sure you like your car. If you don't, you can give it back to them. Nobody ever does that because they're all great cars and people love them. So join, of course, first up, my beautiful wife, Vivian, my mom, lots and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
It's time to stop the hate and spread some love. You are beautiful, you're smart, you are awesome, and you never have to change for anybody. You have the voice and you have the power. We are so much stronger when we come together. It's your choice, so choose to be inspired. Choose to be accepting, be strong, be brave, be awesome, be daring, be kind. Choose kindness.
So I listened to her. Here's my water bottle for today. So give me a call. The reality is that in the capital market space, a lot of people have the same products to offer. But you need a creative solution, and you need somebody that people will pick up the phone for when they call. You need somebody kind and good, especially if you want to work in the family office space today, because that's something that they really look for. I work with a lot of families, a lot of institutions, a lot of private equity funds. I create those creative solutions all across South Florida, the state of Florida, and Charlotte. I did a deal in Charlotte last year too. What do all my transactions, interactions have in common? That I care about people and I treat them with kindness and respect. I'm truthful and transparent, if you haven't noticed. So reach out to me, DM me, call me, all the stuff's right there. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Where I'm with my good HomeServices, EWM Real Estate. Wow, that's a mouthful. You've got a big card there, Pat. We're talking about the luxury and super luxury housing markets here in South Florida. Pat has 750 teammates that he works with. He gets great information. Mr. Mendoza, where's Pat? There he is.
Back.
So Pat, I teased the last segment. I'd like to talk about the business of residential real estate. I know people that have portfolios of these homes. I know people that build them spec. I know people that are doing them now with spec with a like a virtual sidecar thing. I don't want to own my own house and have somebody else own my virtual house. And, there's people that are doing flipping as a business. In fact, gosh darn it, I know one guy who bought his home when he couldn't rehab it for the amount that he thought, and it was out of his price range. He just flipped it and doubled his money. Whew! In 9 months. So, Pat, what's going on out there?
Wow. Boy, those are some big topics you're throwing at me.
You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Huh? I'm kidding. We got 15 minutes and, we got time.
Well, I think the strength of the market here, particularly in terms of residential rental, right? I mean,
Yes.
we mentioned early in the program how the rental rates have gone up, 40% in the last year. Obviously the prices of these properties have gone up as well, but I just think that the stability of this market here and the fact that we continue to have so many people coming, we haven't seen the end to these rental increases particularly. And so from an investor's point of view, there's just a lot of stability to buying rental property here, a condo, a single family home. You'll have at least pretty much, 100% of the time and at a very favorable rate. So we've certainly seen a lot of other like larger institutional buyers get into this space over the last, and that's one of those things that is another reason for our low inventory, right? We've seen the commoditization of our residential real estate inventory here, and it's been going on a while. I don't really recall when this began, maybe 10 years ago or so. But so you've got these large, funds that are holding 100, 200, 300 residential properties, and they are leasing them out, getting their consistent, whatever it may be, 4 or 5% return. And so those are effectively taken out of our inventory, right? So that's another factor. And I know I kind of went off on a bit of a tangent with that, but I think it's an important thing to say that part of the mix down here and across the US really with the low inventories is the fact that many of them are corporate owned now and just being leased.
Well,
so
that's going to change the entire home ownership experience forever. I think you'll see fewer and fewer people owning, more and more people renting for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is if you keep renting, you'll never be able to achieve the momentum at the down payment level.
You're absolutely right. And that is a challenge. And I'll tell you, I have personal experience with some young people that I know that have been out there trying to find a home in South Florida over the last couple of months. And how many times can you go and be one of 10 offers and not get it, right? When you're offering 10% over asking price and you're waiving the appraisal and you're waiving the inspections, you're basically saying, come and take my money. I'll give you as much as I want. But there are so many folks out there right now, particularly when you're looking at what is now the affordable range in Miami, which is, and it's not really
grabs. Look, I'll tell you another story on that. Okay. I know a restaurant manager. He bought an older, I'm being kind, home in El Portal for $450. Oh, okay. One of his clients comes up at his restaurant and goes, I'll pay you $650, $700 for the same house. 6 months later, hasn't done a thing. The guy has $20,000 he put in and borrowed $60 for the down payment. What do you tell that guy? I tell that guy, sell. You're never going to get the chance to get a tenfold return on your money like that. And then he goes, well, where am I going to move? I go, let this pass and then come back.
That's the tricky question. And you know what? That's adding yet another layer to the inventory challenges, because a lot of folks here would sell if they had a place where they could go, right? They don't necessarily want to leave South Florida, which I understand. If you're moving out of town, that's one thing. But if you're looking to stay and you're looking to sell your home at the top of the market today, unless you're looking to downsize significantly, you're going to have a difficult time. And you're going to, there are all the expenses with moving and so forth that I think are keeping a lot of people in their homes.
There's an emotional price too. The pharmacist knows me. He gives me the extra pill till my insurance clears the thing.
Really?
The lady at Publix knows how I like my meat cut. I mean, that you're laughing, but it's true. I love going to the bank just because they know me. Starbucks, yeah, my name's on my coffee, but the person looks me in the eye and still knows me. And last week when I went on a bike ride, I ran into 150 neighbors all getting together to create a community situation. Oh my God, how beautiful. Now that has a price.
Well, it's all the intangibles that you just mentioned that go along with it. So I think a lot of folks are choosing to stay right now and just kind of see what happens. So And it's hard to say what's going to happen. What's interesting about Miami is that our market here is impacted by so many outside factors and forces and things beyond our control, more so than a lot of other places in America.
Yeah.
And,
sorry, but I just wanted to add to that is I have clients that are out of town developers that come here when they're 35 or 40 and they go, tell me where the job growth is, Freed. That's where I want to build. And I'll go, that really doesn't matter here. They'll go, what do you mean? I'll go, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's what country's falling, what industry is expanding, what exit on the local interstate just opened up and improved. I mean, Pat,
well,
these are
and
things that drive our demand.
Well, and I do want to add to that because I think what we've not yet seen here, which could be coming, there's no telling when, but the idea that we have such a strong demand from the Northeast and from California in Miami today, our typical South American investor buyers have been absent for the most part, certainly since COVID, right? Travel restrictions and so forth. People have not been coming here. But if we add back that segment in the near future, and we have all of those wealthy folks competing with the wealthy buyers from the Northeast and California, then that's certainly not going to do anything to slow things down. If anything, we could see another significant bump with that additional interest and demand. I don't know if that's going to happen or when, but that is one of those factors that's kind of floating around out there right now.
You know, we talk about this all the time, and here's something that I never really thought of and never brought up. So we're going to get Pat's response to this in real time. Don't worry, Pat, you got an answer for this.
Great.
My grandma, she moved down here about 5 years before we did. So Pat, I think the reverse may happen. You got people that are working age that are here now. When grandma wants to come be near her kids, what's going to happen?
What's going to happen? You're saying more retirees wanting to...
I'm saying that the family members are going to follow, that you're going to see one apartment turn into three.
I see.
When grandma comes and wants to move down here, when Uncle Sam wants to come and move over here to be with the kids, because if I can live anywhere, where do I really want to live? Who do I really want to see? What's COVID stopped me from doing? Hugging my grandchildren.
Yeah, of course. Well,
And
I
that's
think you're
where I want to
absolutely
be
right.
here.
So there are multiple factors that are impacting our market now. Certainly the pricing and the inventory and the supply, and short some unforeseen major event, I don't see things changing much anytime soon.
Thank you. That is a tremendous place to leave it, because Pat, you're going to be coming back in a couple of months to talk about all this. I know that you're really interested in Dennis and the Oolite arts. You want to stick with us and talk to us? I mean, you've got better questions for him than I do, probably.
Well, sure. I think that'd be great. I'll hang with you, Jim. Thanks.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. We do everything for friends because we're all about love here, Patrick.
Awesome.
All right, Mr. Mendoza, that's your cue. Take it away. I was there at that one too. I especially remember the 3-point. The 3-pointer was my favorite part. I love the 3-pointer, not at that game, but a different game. That's right. They should call us the City of Champions. We got so many great champions here. You know who's a champion to me? Larry Zinn and his team over at Warren Henry Automotive, because they treat people with respect. They treat them like family. They've certainly treated my family and I like that for over 30 years now. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why I have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. They're all great cars. Those are up at 151st and Biscayne. Audi in Gainesville, Key West, all kinds of great cars. What do all those cars have in common? We're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That's a suite of services that you get. It includes complimentary loaner. It includes the that they'll polish up your rims if you park too close and scratch them up. They'll replace those really expensive keys that each of the cars come with now. They'll guarantee you get a great price on your trade-in, and they'll guarantee you getting the best price on your new car too. And they'll give you 3 days to make sure you like your car. Guess what? You will. Nobody returns back their cars. Join my beautiful wife, Vivian, my mom, lots and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. And we are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
You know, I want to thank Carlson Integrated and Regan Mendoza for rebuilding my websites and also helping me rebuild the YouTube channel, which is our next thing. So write that down, Mr. Mendoza. That's our next thing. I talked to Becca yesterday about it. Just reach out to me. You know by now that everybody's pretty qualified. There's pretty good information in the marketplace. People have access to a lot of different things. People pick up the phone when I call. I get your information and requests to the top of their stack. In fact, today, people just start doing people favors because it's so much business. You got to be able to stand out from the crowd. Plus, everything is really simple, but yet really complicated. You need a special kind of capital. You need a special kind of debt. Call me because I know a lot of different unique providers in all the spaces, from private funds to high net worth investors, private lenders. We're doing a bunch of interesting residential mortgages for my friends now and other people that reach out to me. Just closed one on a referral from Ken Morris. Thank you so much, Ken, for that beautiful referral. So remember, if you reach out to me, this is what you get. I'm real transparent. When you reach out to me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, now I'm real excited because we did luxury real estate in Miami. What goes with luxury real estate is art. In fact, we should do a whole show on the impact of art and luxury real estate. Write that down, Pat. Put that on your agenda. We're going to be joined right now by Dennis Scholl. He is the Oolite Arts president and CEO. We're going to talk about the new museum that's slated to break ground soon and open in 2014, which is going to coincide with Oolite's 40-year anniversary. High five to my good friend Jason Katz, who's also involved. Where are we here with everything? Mr. Mendoza, welcome to the show, Dennis.
Hey, Jim, it's good to be here. Oolite Arts is an organization that supports visual artists and filmmakers in our community. And yesterday we announced a brand new facility that is going to break ground really soon and be open at 2024.
I'm very excited about that. I grew up here when this was a desert, when all we had was the dolphins and, a little museum where you used to go on the weekends to watch the laser light show. Today we've got so much more. Visual arts is something that really interests me because I find it really impactful when I see something. A lot of them are random and ever changing, and that's something that I really enjoy. I see you've got a beautiful piece of artwork behind you. Tell me a little bit about what we could expect if we go to Oolite Arts today and go to the new one. And just so you know, I butcher everything, so I apologize for butchering the name of the organization.
Oolite.
Thank you. Ooh.
There you go. You've got it.
All right.
what Oolite is it's the bedrock beneath our state. It is the limestone that's been compressed and compressed and compressed. You've seen it when people dig it up and put it on their facades and things. It looks like brain coral.
Okay.
And that's what Oolite is. And so we want to be the bedrock of the art scene here. And we currently are based on Lincoln Road and have been for almost 38 years now. And we do a lot for contemporary artists in this community. We have free art studios that the artists can come in after they're selected by a jury and have for free for 2 years. And of course, you just finished talking to Patrick about escalating rents. And so what we're trying to do is help artists survive that by giving them a free studio to work in. We also support their projects.
I'm sorry, I cut you off, but you pixelated a little bit too. So anyway. So Dennis, one of the things that I really appreciate that you guys are doing is that you were the beneficiary of a windfall, and rather than taking that and spending it away, you're reinvesting it in our community and in your brand and in the silo of art that you want to promote. And I got to say, from everybody in town, thank you so much for doing that.
Appreciate that, Jim. You're right. We were the beneficiary of a windfall. Our founder, Ellie Schneiderman, back in 1987, bought a couple of buildings on Lincoln Road. Since this is a business show, I'll give you a little business. She paid $700,000 each for them. And 5-6 years ago now, I think, we sold one of them that we paid $700,000 for $88 million. And of course, the axis of Miami is real estate. And soon after that, I was invited to join Oolite as the president and CEO. And the first thing I said was, number one, we got to get that money back to artists. We got to get it back on the street. And we've been doing that. We have a contest that opened today. It's called the Ellies, named after Ellie Schneiderman, who made that important decision for us to buy a building. And in that, over the last, I guess at the end of this year, we'll put back into the community, 2 artists' pockets, over $2.5 million. And then we said, let's build a brand new working facility for artists in our community. Now, Lincoln Road isn't necessarily the place to have an artist's residency anymore. We sit between a Lululemon and a Nike. And, so we decided that we were going to move to the city of Miami, and we're going to relocate to Northwest 72nd Street and Northwest First Court in a warehouse district there. And we're building this signature building designed by Spanish architects from Barcelona. They're called Barozzi Vega. They're very well-known European architects who build cultural facilities. And that's a very important, specific thing to do as an architect.
But you're anchoring a whole new portion of Miami. You're creating a cultural touch point that many people that are going to move near will be able to walk to, from what I've been seeing in the development world. And you're anchoring, I'm going to love saying this, an entire newly developing neighborhood. You're creating energy, and in a place where the artists, God willing, can still live.
Well, that's true. And we're going there very specifically because that's where the artists have migrated. Like you, I have lived in Miami for a very long time. In fact, I wrote your producer during the break. I went to elementary school with Warren Zinn, and I'm very close friends of his family.
Isn't he tremendous? He's tremendous.
He's a great
guy. A loving person, very involved in the community. And if I had known that, I would have hit him up and told him that you were going to be on the show. But no. I'm going to still send him the segment. Mr. Mendoza, remember to make this separate so we can send it to our sponsor since 2013. That's a long time, Dennis. That man, he invests in us. He invests in this.
Yeah, well, he was a friend when I was 10 years old, and I grew up with his family. I was at his house all the time, and he's a wonderful guy and is really put back into the community. So we're going to this neighborhood, but we've been working in this neighborhood already for the last 4 years or so. We have been doing talks with well-known curators at the Little Haiti Cultural Center, and we have also been doing art classes, teaching young kids how to make films at St. Mary's, which is a Catholic school just 2 blocks from where our new project is going to be. We're also going to open a temporary space there right away in the next few months to be able to have free art classes for the community.
That was going to be my question. Are you creating outreach to people that have historically not participated in the arts and culture? Because I'll give you an example. My mom, 83, just started painting. She can't stop. She's got pencils, art, all her place is a disaster of creativity. And it just opened up an entire new part of the world for her. And just giving that gift to one person, and then they give it to a lot of other people.
So we did 410 classes on Lincoln Road last year in a very small space. So we anticipate being able to do the same kind of numbers in our new facility in the city of Miami. We do watercolors, we do acrylics, we do photography, we do filmmaking, we do printmaking, you name it, we do it. We have great drawing classes. We have live drawing classes where a model will come in and you can draw a model. So we do a lot of that, and we want to do the same thing over there. It's important to us that we respond to the community and that we do things for people that are nearby, that can walk, like you said, that can ride their bikes. This is a very sustainable facility, and those are the kind of things that add to that. So we're very excited about getting the classes going in the next few months.
I'm sending my mom, just so you know, I'm sending my mom. I wish I could go too. This is my creativity for now. I guess I do visual arts,
We do some online classes though. If you're feeling it, you could check out oolitearts.org and go to the art class section. And we started the online during the pandemic because people were looking desperately for a release. And it was so successful. We had people from all over the world doing our online classes. And it was so successful that we just kept it going. And there's a number of classes that we do online. So I'm looking to see you on one of those online classes. You spend enough time on your computer, we can get you going.
Oh, I want to do more than that. I want to come and I want to have coffee over on Lincoln Road and go into the facility. Maybe I bring Mendoza and we do like a special interview with you there with some of the people that you impact in the community, because we're a business show, but we're about community impact, which is why I mixed you up with Pat today. But what happened to Pat? He was all about Oolite and then he left. He must have had to go do it. Finally, at the end of the segment, there's Pat again.
Thanks. Man.
Well, thanks for letting me join the screen with Dennis Scholl. Dennis, I absolutely love everything that you do. You're such an important organization in this community for the arts. And I am a graduate of New Old School of the Arts. That's actually my background before business. So I have a greater appreciation for what you do, and thank you.
Pat, what was your artistic discipline at New World? That's amazing.
Well, I was a musical theater guy once upon a time.
I still think you are. It's just that you're having a mid-career off track thing. But now we know this, and I'm going to be poking you about that, Patrick.
Uh-oh. Well, get me to sing and dance sometime, huh? So,
well, look,
Dennis,
my favorite thing is I can do everything except dance and sing. So you got that part covered.
We'll make a great team.
I think so.
Your new campus, I mean, the renderings I've seen of your new campus, it's going to be fabulous, and it's so needed. And I think location-wise, too, I think it's just perfect for you all. So I've been going into that location on Lincoln Road for probably 30 years, right? Since I was in school. So very exciting.
I just want to thank everybody. Dennis, your PR firm put us together. I'm blanking. I think it was Anita is her name.
We work locally with the Pinzer PR firm.
Yes, that PR firm. I want to thank them for putting us together. I want to thank Patrick and EWM. A high five to Ron Sheffield for bringing Patrick in and being on our show. I want to thank everybody that listened. Of course, I want to thank our sponsors at Warren Henry. I want to thank you, our viewers and listeners. And I want to remind everybody, next week we'll have another tremendous show, and it's live Wednesdays at noon, and then we're on and we broadcast and we put it out there. It's always available on freedombusiness.com. Dennis, you're already under threat. I'm going to be coming there. We'll figure out a time with your PR firm to come out and do a whole thing. Maybe we'll bring Patrick as special guest interviewer. I've just set that up now. And I want to remind everybody my favorite stuff. The person that wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse Now go out there and make it happen, everybody. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Mr. Mendoza, the rest is yours.